would like to thank the organizers of the summit for inviting me here, and I would like to present my vision of the sector development. And we represent the Central Asian region, and we work in that region, and we deal with the global trends and are eager to and willing to respond to the challenges of the time. I think that my presentation will pick up on what John finished. He asked to what extent companies are ready for new challenges and new trends, and the trends that I will outline will coincide with the risks that John outlined, and I will also explain how we are preparing for these challenges, not only from the points of strategy but also from the operational point of view. The ERG company or Eurasian group is a diversified mining and metallurgical company, well, largest mining and company in Kazakhstan. The group has about 80,000 people working for it. We have assets in Africa and in Brazil. Our main resource goods are ferroalloys. 1.4 million tons per year. We're the major producer of ferroalloys, and we produce premium and also low price products in this sector. Our company is the only one producer in Kazakhstan that produces basic aluminium. We start with bauxites, and then we get to original aluminium. When we work in Africa, we produce copper and cobalt. We have several enterprises in Democratic Republic of Congo, and also this is one of our regions for development. Cobalt wires. Yesterday we had a presentation, and that day we make about 5% of global cobalt market, and intend to increase the share and get to the sustainable commercial level of production. And coal and energy, mainly that is the procuring sector that ensures work, but in Kazakhstan we make 20% of energy generation for the whole country. Today I would like to cover some mega trends from the point of operator and work on the market, and our approach to the mega trends with respect to our strategy. If we look at the market, mining and metallurgical market, the picture is familiar to all of us. Over the past 20 years, cycles can be subdivided into 3 stages: slow growth, late 1990s, early noughties, then from the noughties to 2008, we experienced considerable growth era through the changes in China. That was super cycle. And it ended up with the mortgage crisis in the United States. The majority of companies now work on increasing their efficiency, transformation of their operational work, optimization of their portfolio, and we are not an exclusion. As of lately, we've done a lot to to increase our efficiency, to improve governance, to set up a best possible portfolio. And I think that we prepared well for the future. Volatility on the market will not disappear, and it's difficult to predict how mining and metallurgical industry will develop. But with this in mind, the developments that we use for our strategy allow us to help to be prepared for the fundamental factors. One of them and one of them is monitoring of megatrends in the industry. We have a part of the cycle for strategic planning. We take a broad look on various trends globally in our industry and beyond our industry, and then ask to what extent they may have the effect on our sustainability and competitiveness. And I will share the findings on our last cycle of strategizing, when we picked several major trends and outlined the key 10 areas that may have their effect on the work of our company. Many of the trends are not related with our direct buyers. They are the trends that have the impact on demand on the products that are produced with our product. So it is important for us to exert impact not only on the next link in the chain, but also ask ourselves, where are we to go and where the whole market moves. So we identified 10 trends, and they're subdivided into two groups: those that have the effect on demand and those who have the effect on supplies. Just in brief about our vision from the point of demand. 6 megatrends that will affect demand. Some of them are familiar to you, but we think that these are the main 6 factors that will have the influence on us. First is population growth and economy development. China is not growing the way it used to, but still it is the main source of growth, along with India and Southeast Asia. And all in all, the whole region will stay the growth driver. One of the main factors is the formation of middle class in China and in the region. We, as ferroalloy producers, which produces important component for stainless steel for households. Something that is produced for households. This has its effect on the demand on ferroalloys. Second is urbanization. Big part of the population moves to major cities. Even in Kazakhstan, this trend is relevant, and we think how to work with this trend, because that requires development of infrastructure in these agglomerations, and at the same time, many of them are already in place. So we should not expect that a big growth on main base metals and goods. Urbanization as a trend has its effect not only on physical relocation of people, but also has its effect on mentality. That's what we call migration of values, growth of service industry. So economy now is changing its profile from manufacturing to services. So the end user of goods that consume our material tend not to buy, but to rent, to lease these products, not to buy physical assets, but to spend more on impressions. So that's an important trend. It will have its effect on the demand of our products. Transport mobility, transport urbanization That's a continuation of value migration. Many people now decide not to have a vehicle of their own, but to go along the path of car sharing. We produce aluminium and stainless steel and cobalt that are used for engines, and it is important for us to see how car industry is developing new materials and substitutes. The risk is that many of the products that we produce now will not become relevant, and there will be substitutions discovered, and this will be one of the major risks for us. That may change the whole situation on the market. And the sixth trend, alternative energy sources. Both the state and private players quite often ask themselves the question about the sustainability of energy that is generated. So in Kazakhstan, a goal was set up to develop renewables. We undertook to reduce CO2 emission. So for us, as a major player on the market, we are vested with certain responsibilities in this regard. The resources that our company consumes and we are under the effect of under four main trends. Industry 4.0 for us, since we follow the state-run policy, the trend to 4.0 is important for us. President Nazarbayev outlined the strategy for the coming decade. We, as a company, actively support Mr. President and have been working on introducing digital technology for over a decade. Sustainable development, that is the key for social license that was mentioned in the previous presentation. We see that the boundaries of enterprises change. We step beyond the traditional understanding of our stakeholders and how we need to work with local communities. And ninth important trend is training of the staff and of the personnel. We experience certain deficit in certain trades, but that's where we will work with the kind of new changes and the way mining industry works. And the last trend is resource depletion. We all understand that good deposits are rare now. They're depleting, and it is important to go into exploration mining. And we undertake not the usual tradition path. We follow the path of developing man-made deposits, and in Africa we work with recyclables using the remains of not used tailings that were disposed. Also, some trends are big risks, others are opportunities for us. So, what our company should do to stay sustainable? We are to be flexible, to adjust to changes. So the companies that stay where they are now will not disappear. So we believe ourselves to be like that, and I think that there are two ways that are not mutually excluding themselves. It is important to follow these both paths in parallel to increase resilience towards megatrends. That's some in-house work that we can do and do a lot in this direction to improve our performance. On the other hand, it's a reduction of correlation and dependence on the trends that we cannot have exert any influence. So in this respect, we need to diversify our stakes, diversify our portfolio, and our company forms its main part of the strategy to increase its resilience to the factors that affect its supply and demand. Thank you for your attention, and I'm willing to answer your questions.